All right, guys, so let's have a story time while I try to figure out what I'm going to do to unfrizz my natural hair. Speaking of that, if any of you guys have any suggestions on what kind of spray or something I could spray on my natural hair so that every time I flat iron it, it could stay straight, just let me know. Hit it up in the comments. But anyways, so when I grew up, I was always very straightforward. I'm one of those people. I always had to battle with people to say, "Oh, it's your delivery, it's your delivery, it's your delivery." And for the most part, I never cared. Could not care because of the environment that I grew up around and just a lot of things that I witnessed. You always had to be upfront, very straightforward. I didn't like circles. I didn't like beating around the bush. I really didn't like any of that. But I also didn't know that I was always around the wrong people as well. I was around the wrong crowds. I was around the wrong friends. So because of that, if you're a person that you're straightforward, you pretty much straight shooter, and if you get around people who's always in their feelings or who don't know how to just kind of remove the emotions out of situation and just pay attention to the facts, pay attention to the details and what you're trying to say, you're always going to feel like the oddball. You're always going to feel like you're the person that's left out. They're always going to make it seem like you're the villain in the situation, even though they're really the villain because they don't know how to be straightforward about anything. And because of that, I struggled with that a lot, right? Primarily too, because, certain people in my family and stuff like that, I always felt as if, man, how come I'm the only straight shooter and these people, they're always well loved, well liked, da 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 da. Y'all know the role. So I took this into adulthood, and I always found myself in situations where so now I'm like, well, I'm not going to say too much because when I do say something, people like to get in their feelings. I never knew that people were going to get in their feelings regardless. If you stay silent, they're going to get in your feelings. If you stay reserved, they're going to get in your feelings. If you're straightforward, they're going to be in their feelings. They're just going to be in their feelings. I wish they could just poop their feelings out at this point. So because of this, it made me always try to switch how I was. And it was not until I got into corporate and I finally found a leader. I finally found a leader who was a straight shooter as me. And I felt like I was in heaven. And not only that, because of I was under such great leadership, she taught me to embrace the fact that I was stern, embrace the fact that I was a straight shooter, embrace the fact that I didn't like to go around the bush, embrace the fact that I did not like being passive aggressive, even though corporate is very passive aggressive, very micro aggression, all of the words, all of the words. So I say this to say that took me a long way, right? But it also, what I noticed too, because I always had an issue with picking correct friends. I was one of those people who I didn't know that the friend wasn't really my friend, but I was making them my friend. And then now we're having a situation where you're my friend. I'm not your friend, but you're going to pretend you're my friend because I could give you something as a friend, even though you don't like me. Yeah, that. I'm all over the place with this. But just because I knew that I didn't know how to pick out friends correctly, when I did start to realize, okay, well, some of these people need to be tweaked out of my life. God allowed it for them to tweak out of my life. But one of the things that I remember is not to change how God has created you. He created you like that for a reason. And so even in ministry, when it was confirmed so many times what I'm supposed to do in ministry, the type of title that I'm supposed to have, it all made sense. I was like that since birth. I was always a straight shooter. I was always my words are hard. As a matter of fact, a childhood friend the other day was like, we were talking about something and they were like, no, you always been like that. Like, people have to be careful being around you because you're very stern with your words. Your words are they could come off very hard. But the thing is, you're a very sweet person. It's just your delivery and how you are and how you address things and how you communicate is really rugged, right? And it made me laugh and chuckle because I was like, I got to keep you around because people would really think that I somehow, some way I just became like that, not knowing, no, I've been like this since I was little. So I say all this to say, please, God created your character unique, right? So some people, they don't like to confront things, right? But their strengths is in another area. Like, let God cultivate you. Stop being around people that's going to try to change the way you are or change your God-given character. I had a God-given character, and had I not removed myself or God had not removed me from certain people, environments, and certain situations, I would have sure enough tried to change the God-given character that he has given me or try to at least suppress it. So don't suppress it. Allow God to refine it. When you come to him, he does allow you to, but just be careful around the people that you're around. You know what I noticed? People who are not confident in themselves, they hate when a confident person comes around them because you're just a reminder and a flag and a banner that you are doing what they can't do. Stand up for themselves, stand 10 toes down for what they want. They're not confident. So they just mad that you are you're standing in the authenticity that God has given you in your rights. And they just mad that you had the audacity to live in it and they don't. They just mad at this point. They're just mad. And they're low-key probably jealous. And if they're jealous, I'm not like one of them other Christians. Cut them people loose. Cut them loose. Jealous people will sink your whole ship. Love you.